It's Wednesday, August 26th. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, Canada announces dollar-for-dollar tariffs on some American products. We'll tell you how this will impact you.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
Shoppers at a grocery store south of Ottawa say that they are frustrated after noticing American wines for sale as the trade war intensifies.
And remembering Dolly Parton, the pop culture icon and legend of country music, has died at 80 years old. Your Morning Ottawa starts right now.
Good morning. Thanks so much for starting your day with us. I'm Rosie Edda.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
Coming up a little bit later on in our show, remembering Dolly Parton. Rosie, you're going to be speaking with Eric Alper, just music publicist, just so involved in that world, as we just highlight the wonderful career. A bit of a shock to the entire world yesterday.
Yeah, gone too soon, way too soon. 80 years old, and I was like, no, no.
Such a shock. She was just pure magic.
Yes.
She really was. I think I was trying to find the best way to describe her, and I'm like, magic. That's exactly what describes her best.
I can't wait for that interview because Eric Alper is so great too. So that's going to be a great conversation in the 7 o'clock hour.
We're going to take a look right now at your top stories. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, we now know how the federal government will hit back against new U.S. tariffs and how it plans to support businesses and workers.
Canada must respond. And today we are in a proportionate, targeted, and strategic way. Today I'm announcing that Canada will match the United States tariffs dollar for dollar, rate for rate.
Canada's counter tariffs are targeting $27.6 billion worth of American imports. The White House responded in a statement yesterday titled, "President Trump is finally ending Canada's free ride," alleging a record of Canadian abuse. The federal government also announced support for Canadian workers and businesses with $7.5 billion in new and enhanced measures. They include extending temporary provisions on waiving the 1-week EI waiting period and providing an extra 20 weeks of EI benefits for long-tenured workers. There's also a suite of grants and interest-free loans for businesses. Amid the trade war, local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau look for ways to strengthen economic ties. Ottawa incumbent Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Gatineau Mayor Maude Marquis-Bissonnette signed a new economic cooperation agreement yesterday aimed at reducing trade barriers in the region. The agreement looks at economic development, transportation, and tourism, while also pushing to have the National Capital Region recognized as a distinct economic zone.
We will work together again and again in the region to consolidate our economy, to create opportunities, to downsize the quantity of barriers that we have between the two provinces.
Sutcliffe says he plans to bring a motion to City Council today to discuss other ways to protect the local and regional economy during the current period of economic uncertainty. Shoppers south of Ottawa were frustrated when they found American wine had been put back on the shelves. Bottles of California wine could be found on shelves at the Johnson's Your Independent grocery store in Kemptville yesterday. A ban on U.S. booze in Ontario has been in place since March 2025. It's unclear how long the products had been for sale. Many shoppers were not happy to see the products back on Canadian shelves.
It bothers me they don't sell it at the liquor store. We're trying to, I don't boycott the States, but I'm not trying to buy anything from the States purposely. But it bothers me. I wouldn't buy it.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
After being contacted by CTV News, Loblaw, the parent company of the Your Independent grocer chain, said in a statement that the wine was put on the shelves without the approval of the store owner, and once identified, was removed immediately. The Kemptville District Hospital is warning patients about longer than usual wait times in its emergency department. The hospital says it's currently at 139% capacity, putting pressure on staff and physicians. The hospital is encouraging people who can to access care through their family doctors. An investigation is underway into the cause of a garage fire in Centertown. Multiple people called 911 early yesterday morning, reporting black smoke coming from a building on Lisgar Street. When crews arrived on scene, they found flames coming from the garage with 2 vehicles inside. No injuries were reported. The fire was contained to the garage and 3 tenants were able to return home. And some sad news from the entertainment world. Country music legend Dolly Parton has died.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
Dolly Parton is the best-selling female country music artist of all time. She's written over 3,000 songs, including 9 to 5, Jolene, and I Will Always Love You. Born in Pittman Center, Tennessee in 1946, Parton began playing music at the age of 6 and starred in many movies. Parton's nephew announced her death online yesterday. She was 80 years old. And finally, a local barbershop is being honored with a special ceremony as it marks 30 years in business.
We thank you, and we thank you every day for making our neighborhood such a rich and diverse place. And on behalf of also the province of Ontario, I want to also extend my deepest congratulations.
You might notice a couple of city councilors there. Politicians presented Fades International with an official certificate of recognition. Their barbershop first opened on Somerset Street West back in the late 90s.
For many in Ottawa's Black and Latino communities, it's a place to gather, connect with others, and share stories and laughs.
Oh.
What a great spot.
And I
30
love,
years.
I was going to say, I just love highlighting little spots like that because, you know, 30 years in the business, that's where people go to see their people, to have a few laughs. They probably go in there not even needing a fade or a haircut, but just to have a cup of coffee, espresso, and just chat.
Oh, what a great story. Love that so much. Our forecast today, loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it so
Summer
much.
is back, baby.
I am so thankful because yesterday it was quite cool, and on my walk I felt, ooh, fall is fast approaching. Today it's going to feel much more like summer. We have a beautiful day in store for us. It's going to be a hot one, above seasonal temperatures into the afternoon, and the sun setting tonight at 7:50 p.m. So temperatures right now this morning, this is what we're seeing. We're sitting at 13 degrees here in the city, 14 in Cornwall as well as in Brockville, 11 out in the valley for this morning. There is a slight humidity in the forecast, does feel closer to 16 this hour. So in our skies, we will still see a little bit of fog early this morning. That fog will dissipate within the next few hours, and then into your afternoon. Beautiful sunny skies. We won't see any rain in sight for today. It's tomorrow that we could start to see a few scattered showers late in the afternoon, so keep that in mind. Today's a beautiful, dry, sunny day. Tomorrow is looking a little bit wet, so we are expecting some wet weather. Could see some active weather late in the afternoon as well. The good news is only Thursday will be wet, and it will clear up in time for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so we have a beautiful weekend with lots of sunshine in store. For your golfing forecast for today, it will be a beautiful one. 17 this morning by 9 a.m. We will reach our daytime high sometime by 4 p.m. today, so 25 degrees will be sitting there around 2 p.m. today. Here's a look at your daytime highs. We'll feel closer to 30, 31 with that humidity, 26 for Ottawa, Cornwall, Pembroke, out in the valley as well. So really warm temperatures into your afternoon. 26 is the high in Gatineau, 23 in Mont Tremblant. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast for you. And temperatures really hot into the afternoon. 26 degrees is the high in through today. Overnight dropping to 14. Tomorrow we'll start off sunny, but then late in the afternoon we do have a risk of thunderstorm activity. 23 degrees is the high. Slightly cooler for Friday into through the weekend. However, at least we'll be nice and dry and sunny. 20 degrees to end off the work week. Look at that overnight low dropping down to the single digits. So cool overnight Friday, but then the weekend 23, 24 with lots of sun. On your roads this morning, here's a look at your traffic, and no major issues east to west. Traffic is flowing well so far this morning, and we are collision free.
TSN Must See Moment is brought to you by The Works, Craft Burgers and Cold Brews. Hot deals every day, all summer long.
Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, let's go to mixed doubles action at the U.S. Open featuring Gael Monfils, who is teaming up with his wife, Alina Svitolina. And look at the defense from the 39-year-old. He's gone from the screen. Here comes the tennis ball. Gets back into position and rips the forehand winner down the baseline. Gael taking a bow for that. Tennis fans are going to miss this Monfils magic as the Frenchman is retiring at the end of the year. He and Svitolina won in 3 sets to advance to Wednesday's semifinal. And that is your must-see moment. Well, tonight on TSN, the Tempo look to get back in the win column as they visit the league worst Seattle Storm. Coverage begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And that does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
And still to come on the show, this is something that everyone needs to know. They might look so real that even bank employees are being fooled by this latest check scam. CTV's Katie Griffin has all the details and what you need to know coming up right after the break. Through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, Melissa stated it. Today's the day. 26, sunny, warm, hot. We're holding on to summer for as long as we can. Try to get outside and enjoy it. It is 6:11 on your Wednesday. Stay with us, friends. We'll be right back.
.13, welcome back. Here are the big stories happening today that we are following on Your Morning Ottawa. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, we now know how the federal government will hit back against new U.S. tariffs and how it plans to support businesses and workers right here in Canada. Local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau look for ways to strengthen economic ties. And the Kemptville District Hospital is warning patients about longer than usual wait times in its emergency department. Looks like it's going to be a wonderful Wednesday as far as the forecast is concerned. Will.
Yeah, temperatures are going to pick up from yesterday and that beautiful sunshine there all day long. 26, feeling like 30 when you add in the Humidex values. A perfect midweek summer day. Enjoy it while it's here. Will this trend continue or will temperatures cool off? Melissa breaks it all down, but I'll let you know it is a wonderful Wednesday ahead. Taking a peek at your roads, 6:15. Everything's smooth sailing as of right now as that sun shines through the windshields. Maybe pop down the windows and have a wonderful start to your day. So an Ottawa business owner is speaking out after thwarting an overpayment scam attempt. This is where someone sends you a fake check over and above the amount that you requested them and asks you to send back the difference. Police say the fake checks are getting so good that now even bank employees are starting to get fooled. CTV's Katie Griffin breaks it all down.
This is all the documentation.
Kevin Moberg at Sinorama Nepean was all set to install decals on a fleet of vehicles.
He did send me the graphics so I could start printing and all that.
He received the order over email from a business said to be in Toronto last month. Then red flags started piling up.
He sent me all the information, so right away I checked addresses, which was wrong. It was actually a subdivision, old subdivision in Toronto. Couldn't find the company name online.
But he wanted to see where it went, so the person sent a certified check.
He sent me the check and he said, I apologize, the check is about $4,000 too much.
The person asked Moberg to deposit the check, then e-transfer him back the difference to an account in Oklahoma.
If it's more money than what you're requesting, it's a red flag, it's a fraud automatically. I wouldn't continue with the deal.
It's called an overpayment scam. Scammers contact people or companies by text or email, overpay with a fake check, then ask for money back. This type of scam is happening right across the country, including recently in Alberta, where a scammer posed as a homeowner and hired an arborist to cut down a massive tree in her front lawn without her knowing. Ottawa police say they primarily see this for Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace sales, and even bank tellers are being fooled.
You go to put that check or money order or bank draft in the bank, it clears, but then 7 days later, the bank will tell you, oops, this was fraudulent and we only picked it up once it passed our clearing section. You're then out the extra money that you've given them and the bank does not repay you.
Moberg never sent any money, speaking out so others are on high alert.
This one here looked really legit. Like if I was not watching what I'm doing, we may have got caught. And I think a lot of people need to know that this is out there. And if it looks at all suspicious, stop it, ask a couple questions, and then you're not going to lose money.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Continues to get scarier and scarier. Switching gears, Air Canada says that it is continuing to carry and serve American alcohol for its in-flight catering services, despite provincial boycotts of those products and a whole bunch of government push for companies and consumers to choose Canadian. Let's check in with Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush and News Talk 580 CFRA. And Bill, where do you stand on this one?
Get on board, Air Canada. What are you doing? I mean, talk about misreading the room. Our national airline is selling American booze on board. I think that's outrageous. I seriously do. I'm surprised they haven't had more pushback before this. I can't believe we're just hearing about it now. Even Loblaws this week, as you know, Will, heard you talk about it on the radio, they've decided they're going to put the country of origin labels back up. Customers were furious, and that's only gotten, I think, more intense in the last couple of days since this trade war, the war of words, and the actual tariffs coming into effect and impacting all of us. I think people are more mad than they've been in a long time. I think a lot of people are more mad than they were 18 months ago when the whole Buy Canadian movement started. So Air Canada, man, this is a huge miss for you guys. Get that fixed.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think, Bill, maybe those couple of days when Mark Carney was asking, certain politicians to put some of the booze back on the shelves as a good faith, but then as soon as that deal started to implode, companies like Air Canada, I think it would be beneficial to get on board with the rest of the country.
These little things matter, I know that there are some of you who think they're so big, we can't possibly win. But if we're strategic enough, the booze ban is a perfect example. It's had a giant effect on Donald Trump's administration. The alcohol business in his ear all the time saying, this is costing us a lot of money. You've got to fix this. So my dad used to say, and I'm pretty sure he didn't invent the saying, it goes back to an author at the early 1900s, but he used to say, Bill, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
What?
We're that nasty little dog that yips and yaps and bites at the soft underbelly being Michigan in this case, biting at the underbelly, and the big dog goes, enough of this, man. I don't want anything to do with this little guy. That's who we are. That's who we need to continue to be.
Yep, stick up to the big dog. I love that line, Bill. Father of wise men. Appreciate your time today.
Have a great day, Will.
You too, Bill. And remember, if you want to listen to more of Mr. Bill Carroll, he is on The Morning Rush, New Talk 580 CFRA. That is every weekday from 6 till 10 a.m. Stay with us, friends. We'll be right back.
Ottawa has a rhythm all its own.
We're a capital city
with a hometown heart.
Connected by trails and bridges.
And fueled by local favorites.
Where the roar of the crowd
meets the quiet beauty of the water.
A city that works hard.
But always knows how to play.
We're your morning soundtrack.
Your daily drive.
And positively full of life. Today's best variety.
Ottawa's Move 100.
Ooh.
And good morning, everybody. A little bit later on in the show, we'll be hearing from a local researcher about how to help kids work with technology as the school year is now just days away for so many. So today on the show, we thought we'd ask for your comments on what is a positive, okay? We're not going to take it into the negative world today. We're going to flip the script. What is a positive use of technology, especially potentially into the schoolroom? Let us know your morning Ottawa at ctv.ca. And as the kids get back to school, what's kind of something that you think about that is a good thing with technology?
The one thing I love about technology is how easy it is to connect with people. We have friends and family, and basically all of my husband's family lives in Thunder Bay. The wonderful thing is we're able to FaceTime. My kids are able to see their grandparents that we only get to see once a year face to face. So it's nice that they can see them, they can still build these relationships. And I find because of this FaceTime, where we're able to connect so easily, when we see them in person, they're not shy around them. It's like they feel like they do know them. So I love how easy it is for Connect. I think it makes it easier to connect with loved ones and friends and family that are maybe throughout the world, that normally before technology, before it was easy to FaceTime or send a text message, you probably wouldn't talk to them as much. So that's something I really do love, and being able to see them face to face as opposed to just, you know, calling them and hearing them on the phone, but not being able to have that face-to-face connection. So that's one thing I really love about technology.
Yeah, and it's funny, right? Coming from like back in the day when it used to be like just Skype, and then having the ability to just do it on your phone and FaceTime with grandparents is really important. What about you, Rosie? What do you think?
I have a friend who owns a laundromat. So she's a small business owner. Yes, she does have a big-time accountant who helps her with the books, but day to day, there is some incredible software out there where you just become like this math wizard. Put in the number, boop, 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 boop. You get, you know, and you get to keep a ledger with some of these programs, some of the software. So I think that it really has helped a lot of people, small business owners. They buy this, it, you know, costs them like $100 or whatever, and then they're able to keep track, as opposed to like, I mean, writing is good, but you know, can you imagine keeping track of every sale and, you know, by hand? That really has advanced small businesses. What about you, El?
Definitely, even like the TI-83 calculator that we used to use in high school now almost becomes obsolete just because of what you can. I think kind of continuing on with the two of yours conversation is language barriers with technology. And now that you can, let's say that you're traveling abroad or you're somewhere and you're in a different country where you don't speak the language, being able to open up an app and exactly say in English, let's say, and then maybe if you're going to Italy, my Italian heritage, where you don't quite know, it's so easily described where you can pop it in there and then continue to have a conversation with someone. So just even language barriers, because it can be really difficult to learn a new language, and it's a great way to learn it as well. You can test it with yourself and go back and forth.
Can I say one thing? So my event, I used to run the 400-meter hurdles in Italian, 400 ostacoli.
We don't need no apps here on this news desk.
Rosie.
Look at that. See, everything flowed perfectly.
You know, you go, that's the beauty of traveling, right? You do learn those different things, but that app is amazing. It does really help. And it stays with you. They're like, they call you, you know, the 400 ostacoli. I think that's me.
Gotta go hurdle. All right, so you heard from the three of us. We want to hear from you. Today's conversation, we are talking about the positive use of technology. Let us know, how do you involve it in your daily lives? You are Morning Ottawa at CTV.ca. In a couple of minutes, we'll be right back with all of your news headlines with Rosie and your full forecast with Miss Melissa Land. What makes your community special? Join us next week for Your Neighborhood, showcasing all the people and places that help make the National Capital Region shine.
Your Neighborhood on CTV Your Morning Ottawa. Brought to you in part by the Clemo. Choose the Clemo and start living your life your way.
Good morning. It's 6:30. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Yeah, happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
As per usual, a wide range of different guests on the show today, from health to a wonderful robotics team coming in first place. So we have a lot of fun things prepared for you in the next couple of hours.
Very cool things.
Starting off right now with today's top stories. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, we now know how the federal government will hit back against new U.S. tariffs and how it plans to support businesses and workers.
Canada must respond. And today we are in a proportionate, targeted, and strategic way. Today I'm announcing that Canada will match the United States tariffs dollar for dollar, rate for rate.
Canada's counter tariffs are targeting $27.6 billion worth of American imports. The White House responded in a statement yesterday titled, "President Trump is finally ending Canada's free ride," alleging a record of Canadian abuse. The federal government also announced support for Canadian workers and businesses with $7.5 billion in new and enhanced measures. They include extending temporary provisions on waiving the one-week EI waiting period and providing an extra 20 weeks of EI benefits for long-tenured workers. There's also a suite of grants and interest-free loans for businesses. Ontario Premier Doug Ford went back on American television yesterday, a day after Ford and Trump exchanged a series of personal insults. Ford agreed it's time for both sides to bring the temperature down.
I think so, Wolf. Things got a little heated. It got a little personal yesterday between the president and myself. But I want to make a good deal for the American people, a good deal for the Canadians. And we're the two greatest countries in the world. We're each other's #1 customer. And it's time to get back to the table.
Ford went on to say tariffs are hurting both Canada and the U.S., and he's calling for both sides to negotiate a fair deal. Amid the trade war, local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau look for ways to strengthen economic ties. Ottawa incumbent Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Gatineau Mayor Maude Marquis-Bissonnette signed a new economic cooperation agreement yesterday aimed at reducing trade barriers in the region. The agreement looks at economic development, transportation, and tourism, while also pushing to have the National Capital Region recognized as a distinct economic zone.
We will work together again and again in the region to consolidate our economy, to create opportunities, to downsize the quantity of barriers that we have between the two provinces.
Sutcliffe says he plans to bring a motion to City Council today to discuss other ways to protect the local and regional economy during the current period of economic uncertainty. An investigation is underway into the cause of a garage fire in Centertown. Multiple people called 911 early yesterday morning, reporting black smoke coming from a building on Lisgar Street. When crews arrived on scene, they found flames coming from the garage with 2 vehicles inside. No injuries were reported. The fire was contained to the garage, and 3 tenants were able to return home. Post-secondary students in Ontario are preparing to take on more debt as the new school year approaches. Earlier this year, the Ford government announced it would cut student assistance grants from 85% to a maximum of 25%. The rest will have to be paid back. It comes at the same time the government ended a 7-year freeze on tuition. That allows colleges and universities to raise fees by up to 2% a year for the next 3 years. And finally, some sad news from the entertainment world. Country music legend Dolly Parton has died.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
Gone too soon. Dolly Parton is the best-selling female country music artist of all time. She's written over 3,000 songs, including 9 to 5, Jolene, and I Will Always Love You.
Born in Pittman Center, Tennessee in 1946, Parton began playing music at the age of 6 and starred in many movies. Parton's nephew announced her death online yesterday. She was 80 years old. I saw so many beautiful tributes to her yesterday, and just, you know, it's so sad. I think she's gone too soon. I thought she had more years to give us, but, you know, seeing all her music and just so many memories of her over the years was just beautiful to see yesterday.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about today in our question, we're talking about the positive use of technology. Yesterday is a great example of that, because within minutes you were watching Dolly Parton's life unfold from a child star with the documentaries and all these wonderful clips, which just kind of made you, you know, it made you so sad, but also just appreciate her at the same time.
It's true. It's so true. I'm waiting to hear. I was scouring the internet looking for Miley Cyrus, because Miley Cyrus, Dolly Parton is Miley Cyrus's godmother, and I think she's probably still pretty shaken about this news, and so I haven't seen anything. But you're right, using, you know, the internet to see the reaction and to commune with other people. You get to share and go, I'm not the only one feeling sad at her passing. Yeah.
Yeah, felt by the world for sure.
Our forecast today is going to be beautiful. We're going to see some sunshine into the afternoon. We're just dealing with a bit of fog, similar to yesterday where we saw those fog patches. We're dealing with that again here today. But this weekend is looking fantastic. It will be sunny and quite warm and through the weekend forecast. 13 degrees here in the city. So yes, a crisp start to your morning. It is a little cool out there. 11 in the valley, 14 in Kingston, 14 as well in Brockville, Cornwall area. So we're dealing with some fog to start things off. It does feel closer to 16 this morning. There's a slight humidity in the forecast. So dealing with that fog to start things off this morning. That fog will dissipate within the next few hours, and then we'll get to see sunshine on the way for today. Look at this, clear skies. No rain in sight throughout the afternoon. We will start to see a few clouds later on this afternoon, mix of sun and cloud throughout the day ahead. We won't see rain until tomorrow, late in the afternoon. This is afternoon hour tomorrow. That's when we could start to see some wet weather, active weather as well. So we could see some thunderstorm activity and through Thursday. The good news is it will clear out pretty quickly. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, looking nice and sunny and clear skies. So we have a beautiful day to head to the backyard if you have a pool. Perfect day for it today, 26 degrees. It will feel closer to 30, 31 with that humidity. So still some humidity in the forecast, and that sun will be shining down in through the afternoon. And similar temperatures across the region. Yesterday we were in the low 20s. Today we're in the mid to high 20s. 25 for the Valley, Bancroft, 26 for Kemptville. Same within Ottawa and Cornwall today. And in Gatineau, Kitigan, ZB, Montreal also sitting at 26. So over the next week, temperatures will drop down quite a bit as we head into Friday, but then warm back up and through the weekend. 14 is the low for tonight, 23 for tomorrow. We are expecting that rain and active weather late in the afternoon. 12 is the overnight low, 20 degrees for Friday. So slightly cooler as we head towards the end of the work week, and overnight lows dropping down to 7 degrees. So if you're doing any camping this last weekend of August, make sure you have some warm clothes because it will be cold into those overnights, but beautiful Saturday and through Sunday. Lots of sunshine, highs of 23 and 24.
Weather brought to you by Manotick Place Retirement Community, a community you can call home.
Light delays eastbound on the 417 at the 416 split in through Woodruff, as well as between Carling and Rochester this hour.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers, 1-800-JUSTICE.
6:38 coming up. Canada has announced dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs on some American goods. We're going to tell you which ones will be impacted. That's coming up after the break. You can see there a look through our sky cam, the sun poking through some of the clouds. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Stay with us. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome back, everybody. 6:42 on your Wednesday. Here are some of the top stories that we're following today for you on the show. We now know how the federal government will hit back against the new U.S. tariffs and how it plans to support businesses and workers right here in our country. Local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau are now looking for ways to strengthen their economic ties. And the Kemptville District Hospital is warning patients about longer than usual wait times in its emergency department. Melissa, I know today's beautiful. What about the couple of days after that?
It's actually looking pretty good, especially as we head into the weekend. The last weekend of August is looking fantastic. For today, stunning. 26 degrees is the high. We will see mainly sunny skies this morning, a few clouds into the afternoon, but no rain in sight for today. 14 is the low. As we head into tomorrow, different story. We'll start off sunny, then late in the afternoon we have a chance of scattered showers, risk of thunderstorms, and slightly cooler with a high of 23. Cooler for Friday, but at least the sunshine is back with a high of 20. On your roads this hour, still light delays on the eastbound 417 at the 416 split in through Woodruff, as well as between Carling and Rochester.
The federal government has announced its plan to hit the United States with dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs on hundreds of American products after U.S. President Donald Trump's 50% tariffs on roughly $28 billion worth of Canadian goods came into effect. So how are industries reacting on both sides of the border? We brought in Scott Hurst from CTV News correspondent to talk about that. Good morning to you, Scott.
Good morning, Rosie.
So, Scott, tell us how industries here in Canada are reacting on both sides of the border here in Canada and the U.S.
Yeah, Rosie, specifically, as you might expect, this is not going over well particularly with the White House south of the border. The U.S. President Donald Trump, as we saw him lash out several times on social media and really getting in a back and forth as well with Ontario Premier Doug Ford. The White House also releasing a press release and saying it's ending Canada's free ride, slamming Canada's countermeasures as doubling down on tariffs targeting American workers. And this is Canada's counterpunch to those American tariffs. Canada hitting back after that apparent trade deal fell apart at the 11th hour. And according to CNN, Trump himself seeming to contradict what we had been hearing from the White House previously about why these negotiations fell apart. The U.S. president not denying that the American side added new conditions late in the negotiations, but also Canada not just enacting billions of dollars worth of tariffs, also enacting a significant aid package, $7.5 billion for Canadians and business to help mitigate the impact. But it's not going over well with some prominent Canadian pro-business groups in this country. Canadian Federation of Independent Business, Rosie, saying while it appreciates that the government is trying to move quickly, it says at first glance this is really a whole host of complicated programs and will be challenging, it says, for small business owners to figure out, let alone use. Also, the Canadian Chamber of Commerce not overly happy with this aid package as well, saying they understand the government's need for a rapid response, but, saying that the intention of loans are helpful, but ultimately it can also be a monkey on the back when they come due. The government on this side of the border enacting these significant tariffs, really a dollar-for-dollar approach, but also this significant aid package for Canadian businesses and workers, Rosie.
So, Scott, you're giving us a window into small and large businesses and the way they're affected by this trade war. What could this mean for the Canadian consumer?
Yeah, ultimately this could mean higher costs for consumers really on both sides of the border, with tariffs and then counter tariffs impacting products going in, into both of the countries. Tariffs ranging from 15 to 50% on some 700 American goods now. As I mentioned, matching U.S. tariffs dollar for dollar. Tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from the U.S. will now go from 25 to 50%, as well as tariffs on furniture and clothing. But also some other notable items being hit with a 50% tax include perfumes and makeup, smartphones, milk products, tableware, and kitchenware. So industry on both sides of the border and consumers on both sides of the border now bracing for higher costs. But ultimately, with businesses and consumers caught in the middle, many say it is the uncertainty that is still so concerning right now, caught in this trade war, wondering when it might end, specifically when the two sides might be able to reach an agreement, and ultimately what it means in terms of trying to get some certainty for businesses and industries in Canada and the U.S., Rosie.
Yeah, that's what businesses and Canadian consumers are looking for, some sort of certainty, but it doesn't look like we're going to get that anytime soon. CTV News correspondent Scott Hurst, thank you so much for this, Scott.
Thanks, Rosie.
Well, it is time now for your morning fix.
Yeah, we're kicking off with music to start. Australia is set to ban music generated by artificial intelligence from official charts as the industry says the technology threatens artists' livelihoods.
When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. I'm down on my knees. I wanna take you there.
The Australian Record Industry Association announced the move on Tuesday. It comes as a version of Madonna's hit Like a Prayer, created by an Australian producer using AI-generated vocals and drums, has spent 16 weeks on the charts. The association says some AI-assisted music will remain eligible as long as it meets certain requirements, including featuring human vocals. And as soon as AI really started to take off, we have had this conversation many times, in the music world, you knew that this was going to become a problem.
You sure did. It's good that they're putting some regulations to help protect artists, absolutely. However, I do like that song. There are some good ways that they can use it. Like, the song is great.
It is, yeah.
I guess if they can use it with a human vocals, then that would kind of solve the problem.
Yeah, use it with the human vocal, and then the artist that's originally featured on the song should have to give the okay that you can use that if it's going to be
Right.
on a subscription platform.
Sounds a little complicated.
Maybe we should
but
get into the business.
Maybe.
Here we go.
Well, Wilco frontman Jeff Tweedy and Los Angeles songwriter and producer Phineas are set to pay tribute to Feist at next month's Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame induction ceremony in Toronto.
I got a man to stick it out and make a home from rented house.
Oh, that voice. So beautiful. Tweedy and Phineas say they were both inspired by Feist's music and will perform her songs at the gala on September 26th at Massey Hall. Phineas, who is Billie Eilish's brother and collaborator, will also induct Feist into the Hall of Fame.
Real human voices.
Yes.
Compared to the last one, right?
Cannot be replicated by AI.
No, and so iconic, and rightfully so, being in the Hall of Fame. You knew that was going to happen at some point.
Congratulations to her.
Yeah. All right, finally for you. A comedian from Richmond Hill has turned Canada's Wonderland into his office.
Welcome back to Working from Home from Wonderland, a series where I get my work done at Canada's largest amusement park for the next year and a half, while also trying to milk $10,000 of retail value out of my pass. Let's clock in.
All right, see that 10 times fast. Ryan Zietz has worked from a lounge in the amusement park for the past 132 days. He says he unwinds by going on a few rides before heading home. Zietz says that while going to Wonderland can be expensive, he is actually saving money. His prestige pass includes admission, parking, Wi-Fi, foods and drinks for less than $450.
Oh, wow. Found a loophole in the system. I wonder if we're going to start seeing more people working from home at Canada's Wonderland. I mean, not a bad office setting.
If you could do a deep dive, there's got to be a documentary coming out about people working from home.
Yeah.
And being in amusement parks or in different countries, just doing different things, because it's impossible to nail them all down. But outing himself by posting it online, hopefully we'll see how long it lasts.
And the perks that go along with it, too.
Now imagine you're just
Very
on a
cool.
Zoom call. Just one sec. Woo!
Just going down.
Yeah,
Wait till
just
I
like
go.
keep going in.
Wait, I don't get Wi-Fi. We're going in a tunnel. Just a minute.
Yeah, we can't do that here.
No, we
yeah,
cannot.
we will always be here. All right, let's take a peek outside, shall we? Melissa letting us know that today's going to be, what did you call? Well, I think a wonderful Wednesday is a good couple
Wonderful
words.
Wednesday. Love that. Stunning, beautiful, sunny, hot. What are the words we got? Magnificent, magic,
Splendid.
splendid summer day. Love it.
I love that. We'll see if it continues. Coming up after the break, we'll have a conversation. We'll take your comments on the positive use of technology. Stay with us, group. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Welcome back, everybody. A few minutes to 7 o'clock. We're having some fun on the show. I mean, we always have fun on the show today, but we're having some positive technology fun on the show today. We asked our viewers for your comments on the positive use of technology, and we already had someone chime in.
Sherry says, my oldest has lots of issues and her new hearing aid is connected to her phone, so she's able to make adjustments in class with volume control.
Incredible. Incredible.
That might be like the best answer that we've had when you
Yes.
think about the positive use of technology, helping people in situations where years ago, that wasn't attainable.
That's
so technology comes in and helps Sherry and the family.
Oh, wow, she would have been shut out. But now, just a little click, little
Tweak.
switch, turn it up, and she can hear everything. That's wonderful, Sherry.
It's an incredible
So
use of
glad.
technology.
There's one that I remember, I think it might have been a few years ago, but do you remember when you used to, like, you'd have friends come over, a family, like, oh, what's the Wi-Fi? What's the Wi-Fi? Everyone wanted the Wi-Fi. The best thing that the iPhone ever did was when someone clicks on it, and then it goes to your phone and you just hit share. You don't
Yeah.
have to give them the password, it just shares, it gives them it.
Yes.
It was like the simplest but
And
best
especially
idea.
when the password's like X, Y, exclamation mark, lowercase,
Lowercase,
s,
uppercase, yes,
C.
yes.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
looking at the modem that's like on the wall, and you're like, one sec.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, X32. It's a
Trying
little.
to
It's a
figure it
little
out.
B.
I think it's a C. Yeah.
Trying to
That's
figure it out.
amazing.
Hey, listen, guys, coming up after the break, well, we are going to be talking about Dolly Parton and the history of her music with music expert Eric Alpert. But first off, we want to continue this conversation.
That's right. Let's keep this conversation going. We are asking you, what is a positive use of technology? You can send your comments to us, Your Morning Ottawa at ctv.ca.
And outside through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, a beautiful Wednesday. Melissa, thank you. 26 degrees, nothing but sunshine. If you need a weather note, Melissa is handing them out for free today to get out of work. No? Yeah? I just threw you right under the bus. Stay with us, friends. We'll be right back right after a couple commercials.
It's Wednesday, August 26th. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, Canada announces dollar-for-dollar tariffs on some American products. We'll tell you how this will impact you.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
Shoppers at a grocery store south of Ottawa say that they are frustrated after noticing American wines for sale as the trade war intensifies.
And remembering Dolly Parton, the pop culture icon and legend of country music, has died at 80 years old. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning to you just after 7 o'clock. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
I'm Willie Yellow.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
Still lots to get through on the show, but we're going to continue to have that conversation on what's going on the other side of the border, Rosie.
We will do that. We're going to take a look right now as the trade war intensifies. Local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau look for ways to strengthen economic ties. Ottawa incumbent Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Gatineau Mayor Maude Marquis-Bissonnette signed a new economic cooperation agreement yesterday aimed at reducing trade barriers in the region. The agreement looks at economic development, transportation, and tourism, while also pushing to have the National Capital Region recognized as a distinct economic zone.
We will work together again and again in the region to consolidate our economy, to create opportunities, to downsize the quantity of barriers that we have between the two provinces.
Sutcliffe says he plans to bring a motion to City Council today to discuss other ways to protect the local and regional economy during the current period of economic uncertainty. Shoppers south of Ottawa were frustrated when they found American wine had been put back on store shelves. Bottles of California wine could be found on shelves at the Johnson's Your Independent Grocery Store in Kemptville yesterday. A ban on U.S. booze in Ontario has been in place since March 2025. It's unclear how long the products had been for sale. Many shoppers were not happy to see the products back on Canadian shelves.
It bothers me they don't sell it at the liquor store. We're trying to, I don't boycott the States, but I'm not trying to buy anything from the States purposely. But it bothers me. I wouldn't buy it.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
After being contacted by CTV News, Loblaw, the parent company of the Your Independent Grocer chain, said in a statement that the wine was put on the shelves without the approval of the store owner, and once identified, was removed immediately. And finally, the 52 beaver statues that were decorated for the FIFA World Cup, remember that, were up for auction. The hand-painted Canadian motif beaver featuring fall-colored maple leaves brought in the most money. It sold for just over $10,000.
The Scottish statue won the second highest bid of more than $7,500. The installations, including one from an Ottawa artist, was part of an artistic scavenger hunt in downtown Toronto.
The auction brought in a total of more than $170,000 to be given to 2 charitable organizations.
Amazing. Good stuff.
Look at that beautiful beaver, too. I love it.
And you love that they all went for sale, too. And, of course, I figured the Scottish one would probably do very well.
They looked great. Our forecast today, we also have your weather picture of the day, and this was sent to us from Tanya. It's the sunset over on Big Rideau Lake.
Hey, neighbor.
Weather picture brought to you by Box Me Up. Moving, staging, renovating, just box me up.
And of course, we love seeing your weather shots, so continue to send them in to us, weathershots@ctv.ca. Again, that email address is weathershots@ctv.ca. Our forecast for today, we're going to see a beautiful day ahead, lots of sunshine and temps above seasonal. I love when I get to say that. 26 degrees is the high, sun setting tonight at 7:50 p.m. Temps right now this morning, still a little crisp out there. It is quite cool. We're sitting at 13 degrees here in the city, 16 for Montreal, 14 Cornwall and Brockville. Does feel closer to 16 this hour, so there is a little bit of humidity in the forecast. Still dealing with some slight fog to start off your morning, but once that fog lifts, we will see beautiful sunshine throughout the day ahead. A very sunny day for us here in Ottawa. Nice clear skies, a few clouds late this afternoon, and then as we head into tomorrow, we'll start off sunny, but late in the afternoon, we could see some wet weather on the way, a chance of scattered showers, risk of thunderstorms, but after that clears out, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all looking nice and sunny and absolutely beautiful. So if you're heading to the golf course today, it will be a stunning one for you. Lots of sunshine again, mainly sunny this morning, a few clouds into the afternoon. 26 degrees will be our daytime high. We'll reach that sometime around 4 p.m. today, and similar temperatures throughout the region in those mid to high 20s throughout the region today. Will feel closer to 30, 31 with that heat and humidity, 26 for Ottawa as well as in Gatineau into your afternoon. So over the next 7 days, it's actually looking quite beautiful. Overnight 14, 23 for tomorrow. Cooler for Friday, even though it will be nice and sunny, especially those overnight lows. If you're doing any camping or outdoor activities, keep in mind it will be quite cool into the single digits. Beautiful weekend in store with lots of sunshine.
7-day weather forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business.
We are seeing delays right now on the 417 between Bayshore and Rochester. Riverside and Bank Street also seeing congestion due to construction.
The entertainment world and fans from around the globe are mourning the death of Dolly Parton. The country music and pop culture icon died Tuesday at 80 years old.
Oh, but I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me.
Among those paying tribute to the legendary songwriter, activist, and actress are Elton John, Oprah Winfrey, and Paul McCartney. Parton's family announced her passing on social media yesterday. Why don't we bring in right now music expert and publicist Eric Alper with more on Parton's extraordinary life and legacy. Good morning to you, Eric. And before we start this conversation, I just want to quote a post that you made on IG yesterday. You wrote, "Take the time to thank a musician today because your life would suck without music." Hear to that. Good morning to you, Eric.
Good morning. And you know what? Watching that footage of Dolly, it still kind of makes me tear up. I still really can't believe that she is gone. This is somebody that, when you think about it, Dolly Parton has always been in our lives, right? And it all depends on how old you are. That's your entry point. If you're a little bit older than I am, then you probably remember her in the 1960s, joining Porter Wagner's show and becoming a duet star, having a 6-year streak of top 10 duets together. If you are a little bit of my age, then you remember her writing Jolene and I Will Always Love You in one night back in 1973, having an enormous run there. Or if you are my age, then you happen to remember her in 9 to 5, that movie starring alongside Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, and that commercial peak that she had with Kenny Rogers. And then if you're a little bit younger, then, you know, it's I Will Always Love You. That was in The Bodyguard. And of course, being Miley Cyrus's godmother. So she touched on so many aspects of entertainment. And as you said at the top of the show, just an absolute stone cold pop culture icon.
Tell me this, Eric. Can you put your finger on why she is so universally loved? I know she has passed. It's yesterday, but I still refer to her in the present. It's hard to believe that she's gone.
Yeah, you know, I think part of one of the great reasons why Dolly was able to succeed was realistically, she shouldn't have made it. When she was born 80 years ago in a very, very small town in Tennessee, she was the 4th of 12 children that were born to a sharecropper father and a mother who was singing Appalachian folk songs to ease the pain of how absolutely poor and in poverty they were. She's never forgotten that. And that led to things like launching the Imagination Library program, founded in part in honor of her illiterate father, the program mails a free book every single month to enroll children from birth through kindergarten, and it reached almost 1 million people across the US, Canada, and the UK and Australia. They give a free book every single month from the time that you're born until kindergarten. And I think that that goodwill allows us to love her even more than her music, because we all know deep down inside that she's a good, wholesome, kind person. And I think that's what makes the difference.
Yeah, what a legacy, Imagination Library. Eric, we got to go, but I have to ask you this one final question. How do you think she's going to be remembered by future generations?
You know, there's going to be so many aspects to how people are going to remember her, whether it's the early music or those amazing songs. But I will tell you this, though. She will absolutely not be forgotten. I think our children and our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren will always be listening to somebody like Dolly Parton. I can almost guarantee that.
Oh, music expert Eric Alper, and I'll say this, we will always love Dolly. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. No doubt. You hit the nail on the head again, Rosie.
Thank you so much, Eric Alper. Thank you, Eric. Now we're going to send it on over to Will.
All right, we're going to be talking about a wonderful initiative, back to school, because guess what? We're a couple of days away. We got Alonzo from the Ottawa Redblacks, because this is what being a professional athlete is all about, and there's a wonderful drive happening on Saturday. He's going to talk all about it. Good morning, my friend.
Morning, how are you?
I'm so great. You know, it's people like you in the professional space that just make us so proud. Can you tell us a little bit about the initiative that you started here?
Yeah, most definitely. So we're doing a backpack drive on Saturday, giving out 100 backpacks to families, but also having it be more than just the backpack drive. You know, we want to have a community event as well, surround the families with love and support as the kids go back to school. So we'll have a free barbecue for them as well, some burgers, some hot dogs, have some raffle tickets as well for some special gifts and surprises for the kids, and then also have some of my teammates come out, you know, and support the event.
It's so amazing, such an inspiration, and especially here in our community. And you know, going on back in the old days of how this all kind of started for you, there's a big family impact, which makes you believe that it's really important to give back to community.
Yeah, most definitely. My family is, you know, imprinted it in my mind that it takes a village, and it's more than just myself, and that's been my mission since I started playing professional with Daily, the organization that I started, is just to make sure that I'm, you know, giving back and making sure that I'm serving the communities that have served me and helped me get to the point where I'm at.
Oh, it's so amazing. Okay, so tell us about Saturday. What are going to be some things that people can pick up and help out and be a part of the wonderful event?
Of course. So we have some of the supplies here. Families can come, you know, whether you have 1 kid or 5 kids, it doesn't matter. The first 100 kids will get a backpack. We have some crayons, some colored pencils, glue sticks, pencils, and a pencil case. And then also, you know, make sure that they have stuff to write in, whether it's do-a-tangs, exercise books, and folders as well. So we'll have some backpacks for the kids, and then we'll also have some fun sweet treats for them and different stuff to make them smile.
I think it's so amazing. You know, obviously this has been imprinted from you for a very long time, but now being a new father, congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
When you think about, you know, now being a new father and you look at your 8-month-old, you know, how does that continue the inspiration behind what you're doing?
Yeah, really just wanting to leave a legacy bigger than football. You know, at the end of the day, yes, I am a professional athlete, but that will end at some time, and it's more important about, you know, how I'm serving the communities that I'm a part of and what I can do for the long run, and that's what's important to me.
And what's it like when you see people come to the event, especially the people that are going to benefit from these backpacks as they go back to school? What are those moments like for you when they come up to you and kind of thank you for what you're doing? Because you're a busy guy and you're spending time out on the field and so much practicing and obviously being a father. So what's it like when you have those special moments?
Those are the reasons why I do it, you know, to see that smile on kids' faces and just understanding how much difference you can make in a person's day, whether it's 30 seconds or whether it's 5 minutes. You know, it's really heartfelt, and that's the reason why I'm doing stuff like this.
I think it's amazing. Okay, now I know the little one is only 8-month-old, but if you had to, would Spider-Man be the superhero of choice?
I think so. I think so. When we were putting these together, he was clawing at them, so I think he likes Spider-Man already.
Oh, man, it's so good. Okay, give people a reminder about how they can take part this weekend.
Yeah, so we have, you can go to BIA Vanier Hub, and that's the location that we'll be having the event. You can also contact us at connect@daily.ca if you have any questions, and then also our Instagram is DailyHQ, DAELYHQ, and that has all the information that you need for this Saturday.
Amazing, and there's a description right there for everyone at home looking to take part. Alonzo, thank you so much for not only initiating this event, but being such a great member, a professional member of our community, giving back, because it's people like you that make this city great.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity and look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday.
All right, friends, you stay with us. We'll be right back coming up a little bit later on. Melissa, we got to fill one of these backpacks. Send it back to you.
Sounds like a plan. And coming up, how one Ottawa man is turning helplessness into hope after his sister's diagnosis with Guillain-Barré syndrome. Eric Sabarang is cycling 160 kilometers to fight back by raising awareness and funds. Natalie and Eric join us to share their story coming up next, and they are standing by in the Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. Here's a live look at our Centennial Glass sky cam this morning. We will see sunshine today and a hot one as soon as that fog clears out. 26 degrees is the high later on this afternoon. Morning Ottawa at 7:15. As kids head back to school, we know technology plays a big role in both their learning and their social lives. We always hear plenty about risks associated with tech, but what about the benefits? What do those look like at different stages of childhood? So Nicholas Waters is here. He's the Executive Director of the Knowledge of Institute on Child and Youth Mental Health and Addictions Research at CHEO. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me.
We're excited to have you here, especially this is a very important conversation to have as kids go back to school, because we hear about the dangers of technology with AI and social media, but are there some benefits that kids can have from technology as well?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I have 3 kids under 10, so it's a conversation that we often have at home. And technology isn't necessarily good or bad. It's more about learning, why kids are using technology, how they're using it, and is it affecting their daily lives, their learning, their friendships, and that's really the important part.
So how can parents kind of manage technology with their kids?
Yeah, it looks different at every stages through childhood, through adolescence. It's really important to choose interactive and educational content. Important to start those routines around screen time early, but it does look really different. And so as a young child, you really want to be there with your child as they're looking through technology, seeing how they're interacting, who they're interacting with. But the goal then shifts. So as children get older, it's less about supervision and more about teaching those critical skills about how to assess what they're seeing is real, is it harmful, and then having that open and honest conversation about if they see something that makes them feel uncomfortable.
And to be able to come to them and talk to them about that.
Absolutely.
And so what sorts of things can parents do to help promote safe technology with their kids?
Yeah, and so as mentioned, it really does look different at different stages. So when you're looking at the younger kids, those 0 to 6, it's really about developing those healthy screen times that you do together. And so you should work with your children and think about what they're seeing and have those conversations. But it should be really interactive content. It needs to be informative, interactive, and educational. And as you shift, one of the things as young kids is modeling behavior. They see us on our phones and using technology, and so before they develop their habits, they see you. So that's a really important factor. And then as you go into that 6 to 12, those middle years, it's really about, having conversations as a family. And so how are you going to use technology? Why and when are you going to use technology? And then at those ages, you can also have conversations about privacy settings and safety. And then as you go into the teen and as you transition into adulthood, it's very different. It's less about supervision, and it's more about teaching them critical skills about how they can assess what they're seeing online. So is it something that makes them feel uncomfortable? And then having conversations about that with them, having those critical thinking skills about what could be real and what is not in the age of AI. And so again, it's that shift from supervision to really having them develop those critical skills on their own.
And we hear a lot about how it plays into their mental health with technology, especially with social media. What sorts of conversations should parents be having, and what sort of things should they be looking out for?
Yeah, it's really important. And technology is not inherently good or bad, but when it affects their daily lives, so is it affecting their sleep? Is it affecting their interaction with their friends? Are they not getting enough exercise? These are really important things, to consider. And we know that, when kids are on technology more, it can lead to more depressive symptoms. If kids are not using it before bed, it's really important because, when they're taking it to bed with them, their day really never ends. It's 24 hours, and you really should be putting away your phones an hour before bed to allow that opportunity to reset. And it's, technology and social media, there's so many comparisons, and there's filters that, it's really hard to assess, what's real and what's not. And so, again, I think one of the most important things you can do as a parent is having that open and honest communication about, what are they seeing? How are they reacting to it? Feeling safe to come to you if something doesn't feel comfortable, and then knowing where to turn if you need help.
Thank you so much for joining us today and having this conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well,
after being diagnosed with GBS, Natalie has been through so much in her life, and her brother Eric wanted to do something where he can make a positive impact on people right here in our community. And they joined us this morning to share their story. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just to give people at home a better picture too, can you kind of walk us through what got us to this point?
Yes, well, in August of 2024, I was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, and it took over my body so fiercely and so quickly that within days I was paralyzed from head to toe. I was brought to ICU, put on life support, and then put into a medically induced coma. So it was pretty severe.
And there's a very severe lack of information out there with this condition, and it made a difficult time extremely frustrating. So I really want to do whatever I can to help other families not have to go through that part of that whole ordeal. And I'm just willing to do whatever I can to help raise awareness and funds for research.
You never want somebody to have to go through some of these situations, but inevitably so many families do. And when you do that, you want to do what you can to help. So tell me about how you got to that point and now 160-kilometer bike ride. Walk me through what that's going to take place.
So I'm going to be going from Ottawa to Cornwall. And I have in the past done a little bit of athletic things, but 100 miles is a stretch for me, so I wanted to do something that would really challenge me, something I'd have to really put in some work for, because my sister went through an insane thing, and that she worked her butt off for months fighting to get to the point where she is now. So I just wanted to do something very small compared to what she did, but to really get out there and do something that I can raise awareness and share my experience with and have people follow along.
You should be incredibly proud of yourself. I hope you know that. For what you're doing. Stepping up for a family member after you've seen what Natalie has gone through is incredible, and you're going to help people in the future. So you should be really proud of what you're going to be doing.
Thank you.
And for Natalie, can you kind of walk us through what it would be like a day in the life as soon as you got that diagnosis?
It was out of body experience, because I remember just laying in bed and being paralyzed and not even able to emote, like not even be able to acknowledge someone coming into a room, and just not knowing what my life had turned into. And so that's really, I think, why we're doing this, is that I was in ICU for almost 3 months. I was in rehab and in the hospital another 4, learning how to move, learning how to walk again. And I'm still dealing with some facial paralysis and some nerve damage, issues that are ongoing. But it is so much better than I ever imagined. And I want people who perhaps have been diagnosed or know someone who has this condition, that the recovery, it happens, and people will get better. It's just they have to keep fighting, and so we want to get that message out there.
And it's really important too that people make plasma donations. Canadian Blood Services is always in need, especially with situations like this. And how many does it take just for one situation that you were telling me?
So for one IVIG treatment, which is what I received, it takes 1,000 donations for one person, one treatment. So it's important more than ever to donate blood, to also donate plasma as well.
Well, thank you, Natalie, for coming to share your story, and for Eric being such a champion with your sister, because I know this is something that's going to keep you guys together for such a long time. And thank you for coming on and sharing the story today.
Thank you so much.
More information is right up on our website, and looking forward to the bike ride. Nice stretch, man. I got some good stretch exercises for you we can do later.
I need them.
All right, stay with us, friends. We'll be right back after these few messages. It's going to be a wonderful Wednesday, 26th, with nothing but sunshine.
Good morning to you. 7:30. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello.
And I'm Melissa Lamb.
We are officially at the halfway point on Your Morning Ottawa. Still lots to get through and lots of fun to be had. But we're going to start with your news headlines.
Let's do it. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, we now know how the federal government will hit back against new U.S. tariffs and how it plans to support businesses and workers.
Canada must respond. And today we are in a proportionate, targeted, and strategic way. Today I'm announcing that Canada will match the United States tariffs dollar for dollar, rate for rate.
Canada's counter tariffs are targeting $27.6 billion worth of American imports. The White House responded in a statement yesterday titled, "President Trump is finally ending Canada's free ride," alleging a record of Canadian abuse. The federal government also announced support for Canadian workers and businesses with $7.5 billion in new and enhanced measures. They include extending temporary provisions on waiving the one-week EI waiting period and providing an extra 20 weeks of EI benefits for long-tenured workers. There's also a suite of grants and interest-free loans for businesses. Amid the trade war, local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau look for ways to strengthen economic ties. Ottawa incumbent Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Gatineau Mayor Maude Marquis-Bissonnette signed a new economic cooperation agreement yesterday aimed at reducing trade barriers in the region. The agreement looks at economic development, transportation, and tourism, while also pushing to have the National Capital Region recognized as a distinct economic zone.
We will work together again and again in the region to consolidate our economy, to create opportunities, to downsize the quantity of barriers that we have between the two provinces.
Sutcliffe says he plans to bring a motion to City Council today to discuss other ways to protect the local and regional economy during the current period of economic uncertainty. Shoppers south of Ottawa were frustrated when they found American wine had been put back on store shelves. Bottles of California wine could be found on shelves at the Johnson's Your Independent grocery store in Kemptville yesterday. A ban on U.S. booze in Ontario has been in place since March 2025. It's unclear how long the products had been for sale. Many shoppers were not happy to see the products back on Canadian shelves.
It bothers me they don't sell it at the liquor store. We're trying to, I don't boycott the States, but I'm not trying to buy anything from the States purposely. But it bothers me. I wouldn't buy it.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
After being contacted by CTV News, Loblaw, the parent company of the Your Independent grocer chain, said in a statement that the wine was put on the shelves without the approval of the store owner and once identified was removed immediately. A decision to drop country of origin info from its produce labels is now being reversed by Loblaw. Earlier this month, shoppers started to notice and complain that the area on produce displays indicating where the food was grown had been left blank. Loblaw changed their labels at stores across the country, except for Ontario and Quebec, where there are provincial regulations mandating this type of labeling. Now the grocer says it will reintroduce country of origin information in produce aisles and will add a T symbol on shelf labels for American products affected by U.S. tariffs. And over to some sad news from the entertainment world. Country music legend Dolly Parton has died.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
Dolly Parton is the best-selling female country music artist of all time. She's written over 3,000 songs, including 9 to 5, Jolene, and I Will Always Love You. Born in Pittman Center, Tennessee in 1946, Parton began playing music at the age of 6 and starred in many movies. Dolly Parton's nephew announced her death online yesterday. She was 80 years old. And finally, Taylor Swift is reminiscing about the Eras Tour.
I remembered I loved you, came back when I met it, I saw you, standing there in the light of
this video she shared to social media, Swift performed a medley of the songs I Knew It, I Knew You, August, and All Too Well. The Icon sessions were held at the Grammy Museum. Swift played the medley on the piano that she brought with her during the entire tour. So, Melissa, when you hear something like that, what do you think?
I loved it. I saw this online and I had to stop and listen to it because just beautiful sounds of Taylor Swift. And I love when she takes her songs and does these acoustic versions of them and like kind of breaks it down. So just beautiful.
No doubt she was someone who was heavily influenced by Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah, without a question. Yeah.
Our forecast today, we're going to see sunshine. Does it bring a smile to your face?
Always.
Yes.
And forever. Keep it going.
Keep it
rocking.
going. All right, I'll try. Let me see if I can use my magic and make this weekend nice and sunny. Oh, I did. Look at that. If it was only that easy. We are seeing some fog patches this morning, sunny and hot into the afternoon today. A little bit of wet weather tomorrow, but then the weekend is looking spectacular. Temperature is still hovering around 13 degrees, so yes, a little bit of a cool start to your Wednesday. 14 in Brockville, Cornwall, 17 along Montreal today. Out in the valley sitting at 11. Does feel closer to 16 this morning, so a little bit of humidity in the forecast. Feels like 21 in Montreal, only feels like 12 degrees out in the valley. So nice and clear out there. We did see some fog for the most part that has started to dissipate. We could still see some fog in the lower lying areas over the next hour before it does completely clear out. Sunny skies this morning, a few clouds this afternoon, but overall a beautiful day. Nice dry conditions right through into your overnight. Tomorrow we'll start off nice and sunny, and then afternoon hour, that's when we're expecting some scattered showers. We could see some active weather as well in the form of thunderstorms late in the day tomorrow, which will continue in through the evening. It will clear out, and then we will see a couple of days of nice dry conditions, sunny skies from Friday, Saturday, right through until Sunday. So the weekend is looking beautiful at this point. Temperatures today, if you're doing a little bit of outdoor camping, gorgeous into the afternoon. 26 degrees is the high. We'll feel closer to 30 degrees later on this afternoon. Overnights, even tonight, not so bad, but it will be a little bit cool if you're doing some camping in through the weekend forecast. 26 throughout the region today, 24 for Kingston, Trenton, 25 out in the valley. Temperatures really feeling like those high 20s, low 30s with the humidity for today. 26 in Kittigan, Debe, as well as over in Gatineau. So over the next couple of days, temperatures slightly cooler towards the end of the work week. 14 is the low for tonight, 23 for tomorrow. So slightly cooler, but more seasonal for this time of the year. Friday, overnight lows dropping all the way to 7 degrees. So some very cool conditions overnight. If you're doing any outdoor activities or camping, make sure you do have some warm clothes because it will be quite cold into those single digits, but beautiful into the afternoon and through the weekend. Temperatures in those mid-20s with lots of sunshine. On your roads this hour, here's a look at your traffic. And yes, we do have slowdowns now on your drive-in as you take a look at your roads this morning. We also have a couple of delays. Eastbound on the 417 between Bayshore and Rochester. Westbound on the 174, slowdowns approaching Montreal Road. Riverside and Bank still congested due to ongoing construction.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
From viral trends to online myths, medical misinformation is spreading faster than ever. We are paging Dr. Paul this morning to help us separate fact from fiction. Good morning to you, Dr. Paul.
Good morning.
So important to do this, separate all the junk out there with facts, and here you are to help us out. So let's talk about some of the problems that we are seeing out there.
Well, in terms of the medical misinformation that's out there, technology is great, but it can also spread good information and wrong information. So, one of the first things that sort of wanted me to do this spot was, again, we'll talk about all the three things that I want to talk about, but vitamin K, for example, okay? Vitamin K, and people say, what's vitamin K? They're not used to it, right? And so vitamin K is a vitamin that we need that controls our blood. In other words, it actually prevents bleeding. Okay, so basically, we know that babies are born with low levels of vitamin K. So people say, so what? Well, the issue is that we knew that those babies are prone to bleeding, and particularly in the brain. What's called intracranial hemorrhage within the first couple of weeks of life. And so it's been decades now that if we do 1 dose of vitamin K at birth, all babies get it routinely, it actually prevents real bleeding. And so all of a sudden we're seeing some people refusing. It's not natural. It's not, you know. So again, I just want to tell people that go to the Canadian Academy of Pediatrics, go to the American Academy of Pediatrics, Canadian Pediatric Society, look at good sources. So vitamin K is required. It's given by injection. Some people say it's not good, they want to give it by mouth. It doesn't work as well, and that's the problem.
It's not absorbed in the body very well.
Vitamin K is something that we've been doing routinely, and I don't know why there's all this resistance, but that resistance is really based on not fact, but myth.
Okay, let's talk about misinformation surrounding immunization.
Yeah. So immunizations, again, one of the best public health inventions over the last, in mankind, really. Yeah. They've prevented millions and millions and millions of lives. And we're, yes, and you know, although there are some side effects, everything has some side effects. You eat a mushroom, you can die from it, right? So there's all kinds of side effects. However, we do know that the benefits far outweigh any risk. And we know that routine vaccinations in children saves lives. All of a sudden, we're getting people saying no, vaccines cause autism, for example. That's wrong. It's been debunked. Causing all kinds of issues. The bottom line, again, evidence has shown that these are the best things we can do to prevent infection and prepare our bodies to prevent bacteria and viruses from causing infection. Look at COVID. COVID, right? The vaccine itself saved millions of lives.
Okay. And finally, there's a lot of misinformation swirling around online about sunscreen.
Yeah, that one's done. That one, again, I'm like, why? Why are people talking about that? We know for a fact, Rosie, that the more you're exposed to the sun, getting sunburns at a younger age, increases your risk of skin cancer, melanomas, which can be very deadly later on in life. And we do know that if you use sunscreen and decrease that, it decreases the risk significantly. So there are people, influencers out there talking about the fact that it's not good for you.
They're saying some of the chemicals in the lotions,
that's right.
It's not good.
Well, you don't absorb them, and it only is on you temporarily. And the thing is that what they're saying is, don't use get a suntan. It's great. No, it's not great because you can get burned. And use oil, and those things actually burn you more. So again, facts are sunscreens are safe and very effective, and the reason we use them is to prevent cancer later on in life.
Dr. Paul, busting some of the medical misinformation that we see online. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Melissa.
Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, have you heard of fractional work? It's an alternative to traditional full-time employment that more professionals are embracing. We'll tell you more about what it is and whether it may work for you coming up next. Here's a live look for Centennial Glass Skycam this morning. Still seeing some of that fog this hour. However, once that clears, sunshine into the afternoon. A hot one, 26 degrees is the high. Currently sitting at 13. Good morning, Ottawa. It is 7:43. It's an unusual work structure that some are exploring as an alternative to traditional full-time employment. It's called fractional work, and it sees seasoned professionals take on leadership roles with multiple companies. Here to tell us more about how it works and whether it can maybe work for you, we have career coach and author Michelle Schaefer. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melissa.
I love talking about new things. Tell us about fractional work and what it's all about.
Yeah, it is something that is on the rise right now, and the reason for that is because it allows people to offer their expertise, like a fraction of their expertise, for a fraction of the week. So individuals do not have to work for one organization 100% full-time. So a person could conceivably work for company A for 1 or 2 days and then work for company B for a day, company C for a day. It allows them to take their expertise and spread it out over the week. And I see this on the rise, especially with mid to late career professionals who are deciding they want to still contribute, but they don't want that traditional, full-time corporate job.
Okay, let's talk more about why now. Why should someone consider this?
Yeah, I see this really happening right now with my clients, especially who have been restructured. There's a lot of career change happening, certainly in the city and beyond. And so individuals are thinking, especially at that mid-career point, they might be thinking about, what's my next job? But fractional work really invites a different kind of question, which is, what if my next job wasn't just one job? It allowed me to, spread my expertise across a number of organizations. So especially at that restructure point, instead of just finding that next job, people are thinking, okay, I've got lots of expertise. I've got problems that I can solve. What if I take my expertise to different organizations, expose myself even to different sectors, and solve the problems that they have, add that value in a completely different way. So people are reevaluating their career priorities, they're thinking about what's next. Fractional work can be a really great fit for a lot of different people.
It's such a great idea. I do really love the concept. Okay, let's learn more and see, is it for me? So who's this good for?
Well, and the thing is, it sounds really dreamy,
It does.
The golden handcuffs are gone. You don't have to be saddled with, long meetings for the same organization day in and day out. But the reality is, it really isn't for everybody.
Okay.
So people it's a great fit for are individuals who can define their value. They know the problems that they can solve, and they feel really comfortable walking into an organization and basically like ramping up very, very quickly, not needing a lot of hand-holding. They can come in, solve some problems, offer some expertise, bring the value right away. Also individuals who are comfortable with flexibility, with the autonomy of really being on your own, generating those possibilities for yourself. You have to do a lot of work if you're going to be independent, and really being comfortable with, maybe some of those income ups and downs.
Right.
Somebody it's not for is somebody who needs the stability of one team, one organization. They need the security of a salary and benefits. That person is probably not going to love fractional work.
Okay, but for people who are thinking about it, how can they start?
Yes, absolutely. So I really recommend that people do some research. Don't just plunge into this. This is something that really requires a lot of thought. So first of all, decide, what are your career priorities? How does fractional work stack up against that? What's aligned and what's not aligned? And then talk to people. Talk to people who are doing this work already. How did they get started? What are some of the benefits? What are some of the challenges? How do they structure their work? What do they wish they knew beforehand? So do some research and, really give this some very serious thought. Talk to people about, how do they structure their engagements? And then you can really make a decision whether this is right for you or not.
And a lot of people maybe have a lot of career questions. You have a wonderful book that you've written.
Thank you. Yes, it's called Cultivating Career Growth, Navigating Transitions with Purpose. It can ask yourself the questions to decide whether fractional work could be the right opportunity for you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And your website is also on the screen if people have more information as well.
Absolutely. mschafercoaching.ca.
Incredible. Well, thanks again for joining us today.
Thanks,
and again,
Melissa.
you can head online if you would like more information on fractional work. And coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, lace up to find a cure for breast cancer. We'll tell you more about the Canadian Cancer Society CIBC Run for the Cure taking place this fall.
TSN Must See Moment is brought to you by The Works, Craft Burgers and Cold Brews. Hot deals every day, all summer long.
Laura Dyken here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. For that, let's go to mixed doubles action at the U.S. Open featuring Gael Monfils, who is teaming up with his wife, Alina Svitolina. And look at the defense from the 39-year-old. He's gone from the screen. Here comes the tennis ball. Gets back into position and rips the forehand winner down the baseline. Gael taking a bow for that. Tennis fans are going to miss this Monfils magic as the Frenchman is retiring at the end of the year. He and Svitolina won in 3 sets to advance to Wednesday's semifinal. And that is your must-see moment. Well, tonight on TSN, the Tempo look to get back in the win column as they visit the league worst Seattle Storm. Coverage begins at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And that does it for us here inside the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great rest of the day.
And no milestones to celebrate today, but we would love to hear from you. If you have a milestone, of course, celebrate it with us. Send your birthday announcements for kids turning 13 years old and younger, and for those turning 100 years or more. Wedding anniversaries as well, those celebrating 50 years or more. All you have to do, send us an email, ottawa.milestones@ctv.ca, and we'll be sure to get your announcement on the air. Coming up in the next hour, we will have lots more things, including cooking with seafood out on the patio. Can't wait for that. It's going to be delicious. Here's a live look at our sky cams. Fog starting to lift, getting to see some sunshine. Still sitting at 13 degrees. It is 7:56.
It's Wednesday, August 26th. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, Canada announces dollar-for-dollar tariffs on some American products. We tell you how this will impact you.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
Shoppers at a grocery store south of Ottawa say that they are frustrated after noticing American wines for sales as the trade war intensifies.
And remembering Dolly Parton, the pop culture icon and legend of country music, has died at 80 years old. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now.
Good morning. Just after 8 o'clock. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Got an hour left on the show. I'm Will Aiello.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I am Melissa Lamb.
And coming up very shortly, we're going to be highlighting you a group of Carleton students that have won an international rover competition, which is all about building robotics. So they're actually going to bring the robots in studio and kind of go over the competition and what they have. And I find that so fascinating.
It sure is, especially the innovation and how they can create, and very, very cool stuff.
Lots to learn today.
And it is just about that time for a little bit of food. So you're going to be heading out on Capital Barbecue, and we're talking about seafood in a restaurant there.
We're making up some seafood with Pelican Seafood, so I can't wait for that.
Looking forward to it. Right now, we're going to get you caught up on today's top stories. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, we now know how the federal government will hit back against new U.S. tariffs and how it plans to support businesses and workers.
Canada must respond. And today we are, in a proportionate, targeted, and strategic way. Today I'm announcing that Canada will match the United States tariffs dollar for dollar, rate for rate.
Canada's counter tariffs are targeting $27.6 billion worth of American imports. The White House responded in a statement yesterday titled, "President Trump is finally ending Canada's free ride," alleging a record of Canadian abuse. The federal government also announced support for Canadian workers and businesses with $7.5 billion in new and enhanced measures. They include extending temporary provisions on waiving the one-week EI waiting period and providing an extra 20 weeks of EI benefits for long-tenured workers. There's also a suite of grants and interest-free loans for businesses. Amid the trade war, local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau look for ways to strengthen economic ties. Ottawa incumbent Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Gatineau Mayor Maude Marquis-Bissonnette signed a new economic cooperation agreement yesterday aimed at reducing trade barriers in the region. The agreement looks at economic development, transportation and tourism, while also pushing to have the National Capital Region recognized as a distinct economic zone.
We will work together again and again in the region to consolidate our economy, to create opportunities, to downsize the quantity of barriers that we have between the two provinces.
Sutcliffe says he plans to bring a motion to City Council today to discuss other ways to protect the local and regional economy during the current period of economic uncertainty. Shoppers south of Ottawa were frustrated when they found American wine had been put back on store shelves. Bottles of California wine could be found on shelves at the Johnson's Your Independent grocery store in Kemptville yesterday. A ban on U.S. booze in Ontario has been in place since March of 2025. It's unclear how long the products had been for sale. Many shoppers were not happy to see the products back on Canadian shelves.
It bothers me they don't sell it at the liquor store. We're trying to, I don't boycott the States, but I'm not trying to buy anything from the States purposely. But it bothers me. I wouldn't buy it.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
After being contacted by CTV News, Loblaw, the parent company of the Your Independent grocer chain, said in a statement that the wine was put on the shelves without the approval of the store owner and once identified was removed immediately. The Kemptville District Hospital is warning patients about longer than usual wait times in its emergency department. The hospital says it's currently at 139% capacity, putting pressure on staff and physicians. The hospital is encouraging people who can to access care through their family doctors. And some sad news from the entertainment world. Country music legend Dolly Parton has died.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
Dolly Parton is the best-selling female country music artist of all time. She's written over 3,000 songs, including 9 to 5, Jolene, and I Will Always Love You. Born in Pittman Center, Tennessee in 1946, Dolly Parton began playing music at the age of 6 and starred in many movies. Parton's nephew announced her death online yesterday. She was 80 years old. And finally, who knew a girl from Alabama singing about another state would hit an all-time record?
She's from Texas, I can tell by the way he's two-stepping round the room.
Why are you just lip singing? Don't you want to sing for our viewers?
I love it. I would love to, but I don't want to pierce anybody's eardrums. After hearing Dolly and then Ella Langley, I mean, I'm not even going to try.
I see the fear, especially for me. So Ella Langley's song Chosen Texas is now tied for the longest Billboard Hot 100 hit. This excludes holiday hits, of course. The country star achieved a #1 spot for the 19th week. It's tied with Shabuzi's of our song and Old Town Road by Lil Nas and, of course, Billy Ray Cyrus.
So who is the all-time leader? Well, of course, it would be Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. Not ready to think about Christmas. However, I saw that yesterday. It's exactly 4 months away, right? Because it was August 25th.
There
4
you
months,
go.
it's going to look very different. I'm sorry, I went right from fall to winter.
Yes, was it yesterday or the day before? We're talking about pumpkin spice lattes, and now Mariah Carey's Christmas song makes it into a newscast. Am I getting punked?
No.
I feel like it's starting to be an attack.
Well, you're lucky that you're going to be two-step into some sunshine today.
There it is. Now we're talking. Bring it back into the positive world.
And that's from Ella Langley's song.
Yeah, I know. I want you to do a little number for us.
Yeah, well, I would try to two-step, but I think I would step on my feet. And I don't really know how to do it, to be honest with you. Today's high 26 degrees and lots to dance and sing about with the forecast. Absolutely gorgeous. Sun setting tonight at 7:50. So above seasonal temperatures this afternoon. Finally, we've warmed up because we were sitting at 13 earlier. It's now 15 degrees here in the city. And yes, look at that beautiful sunshine. 18 in Montreal, 16 in Cornwall, 14 still in the Valley. Feels like 19 for us here in the city. Feels like 18 in the Valley. Already feels like 23 in Kingston and 20 over in Cornwall. So a hot, sticky day in the forecast. We did see some fog. Could still see a little bit in those lower lying areas. But for the most part, the fog has cleared out. And we will get to see sunshine. Mainly sunny skies this morning. In through the afternoon, though, we are expecting a few clouds. But overall, just a beautiful day ahead. A gorgeous time to get outside. Maybe head to the beach, the pool. Soak up the last few days of beautiful summer sunshine. As we head into tomorrow, into the afternoon, we could see some rain, a risk of thunderstorm activity in there as well. That will continue in through the evening, clearing up overnight. And then after tomorrow, we're really going to see this beautiful stretch of dry conditions and lots of sunshine from Friday right through until Sunday. So the weekend is looking absolutely spectacular. Slightly cooler conditions for the end of the work week, but overall, I'll take it because it'll be nice and sunny. Today, gorgeous, definitely. No rain in sight. Will feel closer to 30, 31 with the humidity in the forecast for this afternoon. Similar temps across the region into those really mid-20s, 25 for the Valley, as well as in Bancroft, 24 for Trenton, as well as in Kingston, 26 for Cornwall. Same with us here in Ottawa today and over in Gatineau. Again, feeling like the high 20s, low 30s with that heat and humidity. And overall, the 7-day forecast looking pretty great. 26 is the high today, 14 is the low. As we head into tomorrow, slightly cooler conditions, 23. We could see that rain, active weather into the afternoon, but then beautiful for Friday. Lots of sunshine, a little bit cooler, but good conditions to get outside and enjoy the sunshine as we head into the weekend. The sun sticking around with those temps in the low 20s. Delays eastbound on the 417 between Bayshore and Rochester this morning. Also heading west on the Queensway, we're seeing slowdowns at the 174 split in through Nicholas. Westbound on the 174, also heavy approaching Montreal Road. Riverside and Bank area still seeing congestion due to ongoing construction. And here's a live look at our Centennial Glass sky cam this morning, getting to see that sunshine. Temperatures sitting at 15 degrees. Good morning, Ottawa. Happy Wednesday. It is 8:10.
What if 30 days could change your heart health and your future? This September, jump in for Women's Heart Health and join us for our first ever heart-to-heart walk on September 29th. Every step helps fund life-saving research and care at the Canadian Women's Heart Health Centre, powered by the Ottawa Heart Institute. Register today at jumpinnow.ca and receive your official Jump In socks.
Okay, we have probably one of the most interesting interviews I've ever done. What you're looking at right here is basically a representation of what you might see at NASA. We have Carleton students, 4 of them on this team. 2 of them join us, William is Denise, to talk about an international rover competition that they have come back and won. Congratulations to the 2 of you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're gonna get into everything that your robot has to offer, but first tell me a little bit about the conversation, Will.
Yeah. So this is our rover. It's basically a mock Mars rover, and the CERT competition went super well. We're stoked that we got first. We'll have to keep getting first every year, hopefully. We're super excited.
And when you look at that competition, so going from last year 21st and this year coming home with the gold, what are some of the things that they test you on to get the first place? Like, what's the competition like?
Yeah, so the advantage for us is luckily we have like kind of a rubric that they give us that we know what we're going to be tested on beforehand. So we can kind of gear the rover for those missions. So for example, we'll have specific arm missions, so we know that we have to have the arm geared for certain tasks. We know that we have to collect soil samples, which Sydney here knows lots about. So
yeah, we have a science task, so we have to go out and try and collect a soil sample and do life detection on it. So we actually have to do tests on the rover using chemicals, and we do spectrometry and stuff like that. We have a couple of different arm tasks. So they have like a fake vending machine that you gotta press buttons for and do some different stuff on. We have a traversal task, which tests our ability to kind of go over more rough terrain. And then we also have what was called rover cooked. So we had to make some like fake recipes and stuff. I think we made fake spaghetti and meatballs. We made a couple like club sandwiches and stuff like that. It was really cool.
So this could be, the robot could be the new food influencer of the next 10 years, having its own show. What do you think?
See. I mean, it could be pretty fun. Give us a couple more years, but we could get there. We could get there.
I think it's so fascinating. We were just watching some video of like grabbing a bag of chips, ripping the chips open. You know, you can just think about little things like that. So what goes into designing something like this from the ground up? Because obviously the idea had to start somewhere. So from start to finish, what is it like to even design one of these?
Like, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. It's a very iterative design process. So, for example, this year we're planning to probably start from scratch, but we're going to build off of what worked this year and what didn't work. So we learn from what didn't work, and we try and figure out how we can improve that, and then we try and carry forward and improve even what did work, and basically just each year making our rover better and better based on the successes and failures of the previous year.
I think it's so cool. So I want to ask each of you this question. We talked about this a little before. So Will, I'll go with you first. Did you always know that this was going to be the career path from you?
No, actually, not at all. So, yeah, it's kind of, you show up to university and you're in first, maybe second year, and you walk by the bay and you're like, what is this? How does it work? I have no idea what's going on. So that's when you you stop, talk to the people there, realize they're way smarter than you, and then you go in and kind of fumble around for a couple months, and then you sort of figure it out. And you just keep doing that over and over again until you kind of get familiar with what's going on.
So basically, you just explained what happened when I walked over here with you guys.
That's the starting point for everybody. You could be our next year member.
Oh my goodness. No, I'll let the other Will kind of take the reins on this one. And then Cindy, tell me a little bit about your story getting into this world.
Actually, it's kind of interesting. So I'm in environmental engineering, which is not super mechanical or you know, electrical, software, that kind of heavy. So you wouldn't think that I would have stuff to do with this team, but we actually have the science team, which is really interesting because, you know, obviously you bring a rover to Mars, you're going to have to do scientific testing. So that's what I focus on, is being able to look for life and that sort of thing. And so I saw the rover and went, oh, you know, this is really cool. I'd love to be involved, but, you know, maybe it's not really my thing. And then found out that they had a science team and went, oh, wow, I can get involved in this too. And on top of that, I've been able to learn so much more mechanical and electrical on top of what I'm already doing with the rest of my degree. It's been really, really amazing, and just such a fantastic learning opportunity for everything.
Yeah, well, it's so incredible. Thanks to the two of you. Why don't we call in your other two, just so we give them some spotlight here. The other two who are the other two members of your team?
We got Ivan and Adam here.
Ivan and Adam. We got William and Cindy coming home with the gold from the International Rover Competition. Congratulations, and thank you for showing this off. We'll probably spend the next 45 minutes just staring at your robot, trying to figure out if I could even put the tire on one. And I think we all agreed that I'm staying far away from this, right? I think that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Well, congratulations on all four of you, and thanks for kind of coming on the show today and talking about it.
Yeah,
thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're going to take a peek outside. It is going to be a beautiful afternoon. If you see a robot just kind of like strolling down the Byward Market, have no fear. It's just the teams. It's just doing the groceries. We live in the year 2026. Get used to it, friends. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
What makes your community special? Join us next week for Your Neighborhood, showcasing the people and places that make the National Capital Region shine.
Your Neighborhood on CTV Your Morning Ottawa. Brought to you in part by the Clemo. Choose the Clemo and start living your life your way.
Air Canada says that it is continuing to carry and serve American alcohol for its in-flight catering services, despite provincial boycotts of those products and a whole bunch of government push for companies and consumers to choose Canadian. Let's check in with Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush and News Talk 580 CFRA. And Bill, where do you stand on this one?
Get on board, Air Canada. What are you doing? I mean, talk about misreading the room. Our national airline is selling American booze on board. I think that's outrageous. I seriously do. I'm surprised they haven't had more pushback before this. I can't believe we're just hearing about it now. Even Loblaws this week, as you know, Will, heard you talk about it on the radio, they've decided they're going to put the country of origin labels back up. Customers were furious, and that's only gotten, I think, more intense in the last couple of days since this trade war, the war of words, and the actual tariffs coming into effect and impacting all of us. I think people are more mad than they've been in a long time. I think a lot of people are more mad than they were 18 months ago when the whole Buy Canadian movement started. So Air Canada, man, this is a huge miss for you guys. Get that fixed.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think, Bill, maybe those couple of days when Mark Carney was asking, certain politicians to put some of the booze back on the shelves as a good faith, but then as soon as that deal started to implode, companies like Air Canada, I think it would be beneficial to get on board with the rest of the country.
These little things matter, I know that there are some of you who think they're so big, we can't possibly win. But if we're strategic enough, the booze ban is a perfect example. It's had a giant effect on Donald Trump's administration. The alcohol business in his ear all the time saying, this is costing us a lot of money. You've got to fix this. So my dad used to say, and I'm pretty sure he didn't invent the saying, it goes back to an author at the early 1900s, but he used to say, Bill, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
What?
We're that nasty little dog that yips and yaps and bites at the soft underbelly being Michigan in this case, biting at the underbelly, and the big dog goes, enough of this, man. I don't want anything to do with this little guy. That's who we are. That's who we need to continue to be.
Yep, stick up to the big dog. I love that line, Bill. Father, a wise man. Appreciate your time today.
Have a great day, Will.
You too, Bill. And remember, if you want to listen to more of Mr. Bill Carroll, he is on The Morning Rush, New Talk 580 CFRA. That is every weekday from 6 till 10 a.m.
There will never be another Dolly Parton. The country music legend has died at 80 after a battle with cancer. Parton leaves behind a career that stretched from songwriting and singing to movies, businesses, and philanthropy. CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin looks back at her extraordinary life and enduring legacy.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen.
With her bedazzled look, outsized personality, and hair, Dolly Parton often joked that her famous quote, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap," should be on her tombstone.
Just because I'm blonde, don't think I'm dumb.
But it's her humanity shining through her music that many now remember, in Nashville and in Toronto.
For young women in music, writing these songs, she's such an inspiration to look up to.
A sweet lady who sang beautiful music and had a heart of gold.
Parton had spoken about a struggle with kidney stones and just days ago shared an update with fans saying she was healing but still working, as she often said she loved to do.
I am a workhorse that looks like a show horse.
That is true, we had no money. Parton rose from poverty, the fourth of 12 children, her mother making clothes from rags, to riches, attaining glittering country music stardom and crossing genres.
My coat of many colors that my mama made for me was made only from rags, but I wore it so proudly.
I know we had an inspiration to so many, including Shania Twain. With her soprano voice, she delivered 25 #1 country hits, many of them she had written herself. In the 1970s, her star rose. She delivered movies like 9 to 5, TV shows, and more hits. She was a country star inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in later years focused on her charity work, including the Imagination Library providing books to children. More than a year ago, she lost her husband, Carl Dean, describing their relationship as a great love story. Dolly Parton's nephew announced her death, as was her wish.
She wants to rest in a beautiful bed of plush cotton because after a life wearing heavy rhinestones, she finally deserves to be comfortable and have some rest.
Parton died peacefully in Nashville at the age of 80. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
She was pure magic and will be missed by so many. Well, coming up, cancel all of your plans. We have the perfect date night or even a girls' night activity, and it includes eating what you make. Pelican Seafood School of Fish instructor Tom Earl is standing by upstairs on our Capitol Barbecue patio this morning with some delicious eats. Can't wait to get the details on that. Here's a live look for our Skycam this morning. Starting to see that sun shine bright this morning and into your afternoon. 26 is the high today. Already sitting at 15. It is 8:28.
Good morning. Grab your coffee or your tea. We still have another half an hour for the show. Welcome. I'm Rosie Edda.
It just reminded me that I'm completely empty and I definitely need another cup.
I'm Will Ayala.
And I'm Melissa Lamb. And oh, wow, look at that sun shining bright.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's like a special Star Trek effect.
Beam!
There you go. Hit that light. You got your light, Melissa.
Actually, can either of you do the Star Trek thing? I've never been able to. Of course you
Live
can.
Live long and prosper, everybody.
I've never been able to get that guy.
What is that?
That's the start. Look at that.
I didn't do it either. Hey, Of course, Rosie can.
I know, I'm just a Trekkie. I don't know.
Yeah. We can't do it.
Of course. There we go. It's still on her, but that's okay, Melissa.
I like it.
I think it's quite appropriate. You're going to be talking about the weather anyway and talking about the sunshine.
And if you're wondering
so
what this beam of light is, we have our upstairs Capitol Barbecue patio, and the door is open, and the sunshine is just shining through on us today. So
very
and
nice.
Just like that, it was gone.
It's gone.
Very nice effect. We've got your weather. We've got that Capitol Barbecue, that kitchen segment coming up in just the next few minutes. There goes the light again. Why don't we come on to me here? We'll talk about today's top stories while Melissa continues to shine. From makeup to smartphones and kitchen appliances, we now know how the federal government will hit back against new U.S. tariffs and how it plans to support businesses and workers.
Canada must respond. And today we are in a proportionate, targeted, and strategic way. Today I'm announcing that Canada will match the United States tariffs dollar for dollar, rate for rate.
Canada's counter tariffs are targeting $27.6 billion worth of American imports. The White House responded in a statement yesterday titled, "President Trump is finally ending Canada's free ride," alleging a record of Canadian abuse. The federal government also announced support for Canadian workers and businesses with $7.5 billion in new and enhanced measures. They include extending temporary provisions on waiving the 1-week EI waiting period and providing an extra 20 weeks of EI benefits for long-tenured workers. There's also a suite of grants and interest-free loans for businesses. Amid the trade war, local businesses here are preparing for the possibility of higher costs, while Ottawa and Gatineau look for ways to strengthen economic ties. Ottawa incumbent Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Gatineau Mayor Maude Marquis-Bissonnette signed a new economic cooperation agreement yesterday aimed at reducing trade barriers in the region. The agreement looks at economic development, transportation and tourism, while also pushing to have the National Capital Region recognized as a distinct economic zone.
We will work together again and again in the region to consolidate our economy, to create opportunities, to downsize the quantity of barriers that we have between the two provinces.
Sutcliffe says he plans to bring a motion to City Council today to discuss other ways to protect the local and regional economy during the current period of economic uncertainty. Shoppers south of Ottawa were frustrated when they found American wine had been put back on store shelves. Bottles of California wine could be found on shelves at the Johnson's Your Independent Grocery Store in Kemptville yesterday. A ban on U.S. booze in Ontario has been in place since March 2025. It's unclear how long the products have been for sale. Many shoppers were not happy to see the products back on Canadian shelves.
It bothers me they don't sell it at the liquor store. We're trying to, you know, I don't boycott the States, but I'm not trying to buy anything from the States purposely. But it bothers me. I wouldn't buy it.
I think we should be sticking to Canadian wine, not American, especially what's going on with Trump.
After being contacted by CTV News, Loblaw, the parent company of the Your Independent Grocer chain, said in a statement that the wine was put on the shelves without the approval of the store owner and once identified was removed immediately. And the Kemptville District Hospital is warning patients about longer than usual wait times in its emergency department. The hospital says it's currently at 139% capacity, putting pressure on staff and physicians. The hospital is encouraging people who can to access care through their family doctors. And some sad news from the entertainment world we've been reporting this morning. Country music legend Dolly Parton has died.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
The incomparable Dolly Parton. She is the best-selling female country music artist of all time. She's written over 3,000 songs, including 9 to 5, Jolene, and I Will Always Love You. Born in Pittman Center, Tennessee in 1946, Parton began playing music at the age of 6. Dolly Parton's nephew announced her death online yesterday. She was 80 years old. And finally, a local barbershop is being honored with a special ceremony as it marks 30 years in business.
We thank you, and we thank you every day for making our neighborhood such a rich and diverse place. And on behalf of also the province of Ontario, I want to also extend my deepest congratulations.
So politicians presented Fades International with an official certificate of recognition. The barbershop first opened on Somerset Street West back in the late 90s.
For many in Ottawa's Black and Latino communities, it's a place to gather, connect with others, and to share stories and laughs. 30 years in business. Congratulations to them.
And you said it great at the end there. You know, it's a place where maybe you go get a quick haircut or a fade, but mostly you go there, you have your coffee, your tea, and you gather with the community members, share some stories, and you just get that family vibe, which is what I love about our city.
Yeah, it's so special indeed. Okay, so earlier when we just started this block of the show, we were introducing ourselves, and for some reason, Melissa had the sun shining on her at the desk. Well, now
it's official and it's shining on her, but this is where we want it to occur. Hi, Melissa.
I'm just taking it all in because it's been a while since we've seen the sun shine this bright and this beautifully this early in the morning. And I'll take it because tomorrow, looking a little different. So make sure you are outside and enjoying this afternoon, especially when it's hot and sunny into your day ahead. Still sitting at 15 degrees here in the region, and you can see pretty warm start to your morning. Temperatures are really ranging from the low teens to the low 20s this morning, which is great news. In our skies today, temperatures will reach highs of 26 into the afternoon. In our skies this morning, the fog has lifted. So we did see some fog earlier this morning. For the most part, that has lifted. Into our day ahead, we are expecting pure sunshine on the way for today, and it is bright and sunny outside already this morning. We will see a few clouds later on this afternoon, but overall just a gorgeous day to enjoy it, because tomorrow's looking a little bit different. Sunshine to start things off on your Thursday, but then into the afternoon we are seeing some scattered showers in the forecast for tomorrow, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow as well. So it is looking a little bit different, but as we head into the overnight Thursday, it will clear up, and then we will see clear skies and lots of sunshine Friday in through Saturday and even Sunday. So a couple of dry days on the way for us. Daytime high today of 26 degrees for us here in the city, and temperatures really in those mid-20s throughout the region. However, it will feel like the high 20s, low 30s because of that heat and humidity. So hot and sticky into the afternoon today. We will reach highs of 26, feeling closer to 31 for us here in Ottawa. Overnight tonight, temperatures falling to 14 degrees. Tomorrow, slightly cooler, a high of only 23 into the afternoon. As we head into tomorrow, we could see some thunderstorms into the day ahead. Then Friday, slightly cooler, a high of only 20 degrees. We will see lots of sunshine to end off the work week, and in through the weekend, temperatures sitting in those mid-20s. But overnight low Friday will be quite cool. However, the rest of the weekend is looking fantastic. On your roads this morning, still seeing delays eastbound on the 417 between Bayshore and Rochester, heading west on the Queensway. Slowdowns at the 174 split and through Nicholas. Riverside and Bank still dealing with heavy congestion, and of course that is due to ongoing construction. Well, we are here on our Capital Barbecue patio this morning, and it smells delicious and looks fantastic. Tom Earl is here. He is a Pelican Seafood chef. And of course, you are also an instructor because you have these wonderful classes. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we're doing cooking classes 2-3 times a week, starting with things like fishy fundamentals. We do an Italian class. I just did a Spanish class last night, which was fantastic. Groups of 10 come in, and we do everything for you. You don't have to do any dishes. Very little chopping involved. When we do our raw classes, Knifeware brings beautiful Japanese knives for us to use. So we get to do a little bit of chopping of the fish for that.
That's so much fun.
It's going really well.
So we're going to do one today, a little mini class. So tell me what we're creating first up.
So we are going to do scallop aguachili. And the first thing we're going to do is I made the sauce ahead of time with cilantro, green onions, tomatillos, lots of cilantro, and because this morning we're going to use a little mezcal.
A mezcal.
Just a little bit.
Just a little tinge. Okay.
Just to help us pick up the morning a bit.
Let's do it.
Lid goes on, a little bit of a shake. We're going to place some of the sauce on the plate.
Beautiful. It smells delicious. You could really smell it.
Are you a cilantro person?
I love cilantro. Yeah. I know cilantro's weird, like you either love it or you hate it. I am in a love category.
And then the scallops, I've just marinated with a little bit of lime juice, some cilantro, some chilies. We're going to put that on top. There we go. And this is from our raw class. Like I say, Knifeware brings the beautiful knives for us. And then if you just want to pop a little more cilantro on top and maybe a couple of chilies.
Just kind of all over.
And that is a finished dish.
And a few little chilies.
There we go. And you can eat that with chips. You can eat it with a fork. However you're into eating
your heart
that.
desires. I just really want to try this sauce. Is it spicy?
It's got a little bit of heat to it. I took most of the seeds out of the jalapeno, so that's where all the heat comes from.
Though. So much flavor. That is absolutely spectacular.
And the raw class is very popular.
I bet.
And we can do that as a private class as well for up to 12 people. So you can book a birthday party or a corporate event.
Incredible.
Anniversaries. We've done a few birthdays already so far.
And that's so fun to kind of cook the food and then you get to enjoy it and eat it after as well.
And we guarantee always at least 4 courses. For the raw class, we do 5 courses. You learn how to shuck oysters, which is really fun. A little dangerous. We don't give you a glass of wine until you finish with the shucking.
Smart idea. It's actually really hard. I've tried it once in my life, and it's a little bit harder than it looks.
You have to really practice that.
I bet you give lots of tips, though. So
Sure and I've got an expert fishmonger. Nathan is so amazing. He knows so much about fish, and he loves talking about it.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. So the next thing we're going to do. This is an Asian-inspired salmon tartare.
Gorgeous.
And we are just going to top that with a few radishes on top of each one.
So tell me more about your tartare and what you use.
So soy. There's mirin, there's some rice vinegar. I've got some pickled ginger that we pickled ourselves.
Ooh.
And you get all the recipes. At the end of the class, we take a group picture, and then we send you all the recipes the next morning, so you don't have to take notes, you don't have to worry about remembering things. Beautiful. And then if you want to sprinkle just a little bit of this furikake, it's called.
What's
and
it
it's
called?
A mixture of sesame seeds and seaweed.
Oh, wow.
And that just adds a little bit of a zip to it as well and makes it look beautiful. I mean, making the food beautiful is a great start for eating.
I love learning little tips like that, like little things you can add to dishes that just kind of ump the ante and make it look a little
And this you can get at
pretty.
pretty much any grocery store now, all the international sections of your grocery store.
And then how would you eat these? Would you
And so you can pick it up like a lettuce wrap. You could eat it like with a fork. We serve some rice crackers with it.
Beautiful.
And really delicious, fresh. And this is great, especially with the hot days that we have left for the summer. No turning on the stove, no turning on the oven. Everything just gets together really well. While you're barbecuing your steak, you're having your little salmon appetizer.
And do you learn the art of how to cut it properly?
Yeah, we show you all of that. We teach you how to cut properly. Like I say, Knifeware with their beautiful knives, it's just like cutting butter. They're so beautiful and sharp. So
knives make a huge difference.
We give you all the information. We talk about where the fish comes from and how to store it.
So some educational
what you're looking for when you're buying it. Yeah.
So smart. Okay, let's move on
and
to
then this is from our Fishy
dish.
Fundamentals class.
Fun.
And we have a Fishy Fundamentals coming up. These are our crab cakes. This was my recipe that I brought to the restaurant. And you make your own crab cakes in the class, and then we fry them up. We don't bread them because we want to keep them sort of lighter. And we're serving that with our remoulade sauce, which is a nice mixture with mayonnaise. There's sriracha in there. There's cornichon.
Look at that.
And lots of crab.
Beautiful.
Which is what you want in a crab cake.
What other seasonings do you add into your crab cakes? Or can you
we
tell
keep
us?
it pretty simple, yeah. We have Old Bay, of course, because that's a very classic seasoning for seafood. We have green onions. We keep it really simple. Lots of lemon. So nothing too crazy. And then the remoulade is a mayonnaise-based dressing with cornichon. And we use sriracha, which gives it that nice color and flavor.
That is delicious.
And yeah, and if you do take our Fishy Fundamentals class, you get a coupon for your next class. So you get a discount on the next class you book.
That's amazing.
And also, all the classes, when you buy a ticket for the class, you get points in the restaurant and the market.
Okay.
So that you can use towards shopping when you come back to buy your fish.
Incredible. Well, tell us where you're located so people can know where you are.
So we're way down Bank Street.
Yep.
I'm from Toronto, so it's been hard for me to know the north and south. So we are actually South Bank Street by Heron Road.
1500 Bank Street, does that ring a bell?
1500, yes, yes.
1500 Bank Street, of course. You can head online for more information for all those classes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
So many delicious eats and so many fun courses that you can learn at Pelican. So make sure you head online for all of that and more. And of course, if you have an idea for us here in our kitchen or maybe for our Capital Barbecue segment, let us know. We would love to hear from you. Your Morning Ottawa at ctv.ca. And here's a live look at our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Beautiful start to your Wednesday morning, sitting at 15 degrees with a high of 26. And I can tell you, the sun is shining bright this morning. Good morning, Ottawa.
The CIBC Run for the Cure is back in just a matter of time. It takes place October 4th. Here to tell us more about the community event, and it's a fan favorite, raising funds and awareness of breast cancer research right here in Canada. We got the Run director, Caroline Part. Good morning to you.
Thank you for having me.
It's so great. You know, you've been a volunteer for about 4 years, and now you're the director. Obviously, this event has a warm place in your heart. Tell me a little bit about what kind of keeps you coming back each and every year.
Yeah, so I started volunteering because my grandmother is a breast cancer survivor. And even though I was quite young at the time, I still understood the impact her diagnosis had on my family. And so volunteering with the Run has given me a really incredible opportunity to make a difference in the lives of those affected by breast cancer. And I love being the Run director. We have an incredibly dedicated team of volunteers who make the Ottawa Run possible. And we love seeing the community come out year after year to show support for this cause and change what a breast cancer diagnosis means for future generations.
I mean, I think that this is what life is all about. You know, you go through a family experience, and then here you are setting up this event to help people in the future for a situation that you've been involved in. When you look at something like that, how helpful can this be for people in these situations moving forward?
Yeah, so breast cancer is the most common cancer in Canadian women. We know that 1 in 8 will be experiencing a diagnosis in their lifetime. And so a breast cancer diagnosis brings a lot of challenges. And the funds that we raise go to support programs at the Canadian Cancer Society to help people get transportation to and from all of the medical appointments, help them access wigs, and connect them with information and support. The funds are also invested in life-saving research, and we know that research is making a difference because more people are living longer after a breast cancer diagnosis. But of course, there is still more work to be done.
Definitely, and you know, you look at like all those avenues, just making such a difficult situation a little bit easier in so many different ways, and that's what this event is all about. So let's circle back. Tell me a little bit about on the day we're at the Run. What can people expect?
So Run Day is a really powerful experience. We have teams there who are honoring loved ones who they've lost. We have families rallying in support of someone facing a breast cancer diagnosis, and survivors who are celebrating their journeys. So there is a real incredible sense of hope throughout the day. And as a volunteer, my favorite part is hearing from our Participant of Hope speaker, who shares how breast cancer has impacted their life. And it's really a privilege to hear their stories and the moment that stays with me after Run Day is over.
And it's amazing to see the community come together, you know, for people that have experienced breast cancer within their family or friend group, or just coming to support. It's such a wonderful event. And a PhD student, director of the Run. We are in such great hands. Caroline, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this great event with us today.
Thank you so much again for having me.
Business we should highlight as part of our Your Neighborhood feature. Send us an email at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca.
Okay, so obviously the news from yesterday broke about the passing of Dolly Parton, so we wanted to focus a lot of our show today just with the memory of Dolly. And our conversation that we had with our viewers was, you know, how has technology positively influenced us here and today? And we talked earlier about, it was a perfect example because yesterday within 5 minutes, you could see a collage of different people sharing memories and interviews and performances, and it's a great way to honor her memory.
I love it when they showed some of her quotes, like how sassy she was, what a great sense of humor she had, and how she's so self-deprecating as well. It made me laugh after the initial shock. I was so sad, but then I go, Dolly was amazing.
She sure was. Like my best way to describe her was magic. There was just something so bright, and she shone so, like, she was so sparkly, and I know she loved her rhinestones.
Yes,
and she talks about it, but she was just pure magic, and her soul just so deeply kind.
Yes, we are gonna send you off this day with a little bit of Dolly Parton. Here's to Dolly Parton, gone way too soon.